The film department is supported by UNLV Film. At the film department of the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, every story has a beginning. With degree programs for undergraduates and graduates, state-of-the-art equipment and facilities, incredible professional internships around the world, and expert guest speakers, students discover the power and potential of cinema as they prepare for the film and television industry and beyond. Learn more at unlv.edu/film. UNLV Film. Find your voice, tell your story.
Hi, and welcome to the Film Department, the official movie review podcast of UNLV Film. My name is Matthew Trudeau, and I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm Lex Diocese.
And I'm Robby Baker.
Yes, and we just had an excellent conversation with Edwin Ramirez. Edwin was the winner of the 2025 Las Vegas 48-hour film project for his climate film, There's Something in the Water. It was really, really great. Go check him out on YouTube, Instagram, check out his other work. For all of our UNLV film students today, we've got our 48-hour film competition coming up October 10th through 12th. But yeah, let's jump right into it.
Yeah, Beck quit yesterday.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why?
You know, honestly, between you and me, he was always unstable. Little, paranoid. And honestly, I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner. Justine, he didn't say anything to you, did he?
No. Nothing out of the ordinary.
All right. Hi, Edwin. I'm Lex, and then these are the two co-hosts, Matthew and Robby. Today, I feel like is going to be a fun episode just because we have our 48-hour also coming up October 10th through 12th. Yeah, so I was just thinking you can go ahead and start telling us about yourself and then telling us a little bit about your 48-hour experience before we dive in, and also a little bit about the film that won.
Sure, yeah. First of all, thank you guys for having me. I'm super stoked to be on this podcast.
Wonderful to have you.
My name's Edwin. I recently graduated UNLV Film in May of 2024, and I'm currently working mainly as a production assistant around town. So I work in commercials, film, music videos, conventions, pretty much anything that you can think of I've been doing for the last couple of years. When I'm not PAing, I do lighting and grip. I've been doing some gaffing work, gripping for commercials and stuff like that, as well as a little bit of camera. And I'm an aspiring director. I directed short films when I was at UNLV, and I still try and direct when I have the time and the money. And I recently just directed a 48-hour for the Las Vegas 48-hour Film Festival, in which our film, There's Something in the Water, won first place. So super stoked about that. I did a lot of 48s in the past. I did about 3 48 hours at UNLV Film, which were all great, and I had a really fun time doing, as well as some 48s for like worldwide festivals like the AGBO 48-hour film challenge and stuff like that. So I have a little bit of experience with 48s, so I'm super excited to talk with you guys about it.
That's awesome. Okay, so for those of us that have never participated or have heard of a 48-hour film festival, I just wanted to let everyone know. So it's a festival where teams have 48 hours to create and produce something entirely from scratch. And I will say, my co-host Matthew over here actually has some experience being a part of a 48-hour. So I actually wanted to divert to him for a bit because I know he's been dying to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I won't lie. I've been nerding out a little bit. I mean, I haven't done anything as cool as There's Something in the Water. I really like There's Something in the Water.
Thank you.
But I've been dying to know. I wanted to ask about like your preparation phase, because I mean, it's only 48 hours, but you seemed very well equipped for what you were doing. So I wanted to ask how you went about getting your locations for shooting, equipment together, cast, crew, like what that process was like before the actual 48 started.
Yeah, 48 hours are fun just because the more you do them, the more you realize where you have to prepare, right? Because the first time you do a 48, you just kind of go in it and you're like, let's make a movie and have fun and let's wing it. And then as you do more of them, you're like, oh, okay, this time we should do this and this time we should do that and kind of prepare. So for 48s, you kind of just have to prep them like any other short film that you're doing, right? Like just because you're only doing it in 48 hours doesn't mean that it isn't the same. What I like to do before any 48 is always try and find nice locations beforehand. So I'll spend maybe like 2, 3 weeks before 48 going around Vegas and just asking like very cool locations, whether they're coffee shops or comic book stores, auto shops. Like, hey, like explain the situation. I tell them we're making a short film for a competition. Is it okay if we can film there? And always be nice and always say that you're a student and that you're not a production company and there's no money going behind this, and they're very much likely will allow you to film in their place. And the reason I do that is a lot of 48s, as you'll probably notice at the UNLV one, will shoot in apartments or houses because that's the most accessible place for them, which there's nothing wrong with that. The downfall is that a lot of Vegas houses look the same, right? That's kind of
Yeah.
that's the sucky part, is that you film inside a Vegas house and you can tell, okay, yeah, it's here, or even outside of a neighborhood, and you're like, okay, that's a Vegas neighborhood. So I think that kind of lowers the production value of your film a little bit when you see like the same kind of house layout. So I always try and find cool locations beforehand, and you can always do that well beforehand, right? Like just go around. If you know friends that work at places, like ask them, like, hey, can we film at your restaurant, or can we film whatever? And I find that if you're nice about it, people will let you. So
Yeah, they'll be a little more
locations,
receptive.
yeah, locations is a big one, and then I try to write the story around the location if it fits. There's some genres that are super specific, like Western, like you're probably not going to film a Western at a cafe or anything like that. But I'll typically find my locations, and then depending on the genre, I'll write around that location. So for There's Something in the Water, we had a mechanic shop that was available to us. We had the law firm that we shot in because my producer is an assistant to a lawyer, and that lawyer was like a film minor, so he was very down with us shooting at the law firm. And then UNLV Greenspun, which I got with my sister because she works at Rebel Media Group, and she just knew a guy, asked very like last second, and then we were able to shoot at the studio. So yeah, locations is super big. I cannot emphasize enough, like go out, look for cool spots that you find interesting, and see if you can shoot there. Get your cast and get your crew beforehand, also very important. I think like a lot of crews tend to like write the script and then kind of be like, all right, let's cut people, or let's like see if we can find cast like during the process. Don't do that. Just find friends, find actors that want to be in it, and then just write the script around how many actors you have. That doesn't necessarily mean that every actor has like a huge role, but definitely find your cast beforehand because it'll just help you when you're writing. And then my crew, I mean, the crew that I used for There's Something in the Water has pretty much been like the same crew that I would make films with at UNLV. They were film students who had all recently graduated, or friends from high school that got into film. One thing that I did that was a little out of my comfort zone, but I like highly recommend for everyone, is I went to like an open call audition it was maybe like 60 actors who all just kind of prepared a monologue. And that's where I met the majority of those actors from There's Something in the Water. So a lot of the actors that you see in the film, I had met 2 weeks prior to shooting. And it was just a huge game changer. Like, they were all such incredible people. They're all nice. They're all so willing to like work with new people. So definitely go to like mixers, go to auditions if UNLV is like holding stuff like that. Like, meet new people who are just really cool, because that's very important too. You always want people with good vibes, and just bring them on. So yeah, cast early, get your crew early. The more that you have prepped before a 48 hour, the better it will probably go for you. So don't be afraid to like over prepare for a 48. Obviously, the fun is getting the genre that night and like prepping the story that night, and then all the chaos that ensues. So the better prep that you are with all that, I think the better your 48 will turn out.
For sure, for sure. Did you film overnight?
No. So the way that I like to structure my 48s, and again, this is just from experience in the past, so I feel like I kind of got like a good like rhythm to it. But we get our genres Friday night, then I'll spend all Friday night writing a script. And I think the script is probably like one of the most overlooked things, right? Because like for a 48, you can get away with like okay cinematography. You can get away with okay production design because you only have 48 hours, right? But what you can't really get away with is like a bad script, regardless of how much time you have. So I write a first draft and then I go over it with people I trust who are probably in my crew. And I'm like, hey, like look over this. Does this make any sense? Like, is this, easy to follow? They'll give me a little bit of notes. I'll be like, okay, I'll apply it. I'll write a very quick second draft, nothing too crazy. And I know that might sound insane. Like, what do you mean a second draft? Like, this is a 48. Trust me, because like you guys have probably heard that like first drafts for anything are going to be bad, and that applies for the 48 too. Like you should again treat it like you would another short film. Like rewrite it if you can. So we rewrote a second draft, and then after that, I like to do a table read with the actors, just so that the actors are kind of like familiar with the lines. If there's anything that just sounds wrong or sounds ugly, I'll catch it and I'll write it down. And then I'll let my actors ask if they have any sort of questions with the script or whatnot. So we did that around midnight on Friday. From there, my DP and I, we shot listed, and then we kind of like finished up a draft that we were happy with. So we didn't get any sleep. I don't recommend that. If you can like shot list and write your script, get a few hours of sleep before shooting. My DP and I, we were just like insane.
How much
So
sleep did you guys get that whole process?
Oh my God. I mean, from the time that we started writing, I didn't get any sleep until we were done filming. And then I got maybe like 3-4 hours of sleep and then went to editing. My DP was also my editor. He got like no sleep. But he was like locked in a way that I'd never seen in my life. Like I had recommended, and this is something that I think is super important and that I like to recommend to people as well when it comes to editing. You should either do one of two things. You should have an editor on set. So as you're filming, you can like dump the footage to them so they can start editing while you're still shooting. Or have an editor sleep all day Saturday while you guys are filming. So the moment that you're done, you pass it off to an editor. They can start like an assembly cut. So when you're awake in the morning on Sunday, you already have like a pretty decent assembly cut. That's what I recommended my DP. And he was like, nah, like, trust me, like, I got this. I edit too. And he just like, as soon as we were done shooting Saturday night, he was just editing. I woke up Sunday morning and he had a really good like assembly cut done. And I was like, you're insane. You're crazy.
Cup of coffee and some Red Bulls later, he was
Yeah,
fine.
seriously. I was so concerned over his, his sleep. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend doing the editor thing. But definitely, like, if you can, don't start editing Sunday morning from scratch, because I think that's where, like, the downfall really happens, When people don't finish, or when people have, like, bad sound design, it's because they spent a lot of that time Sunday trying to, like, cut down, make sure they get a time limit. What's the time limit for the 40 days? Like 5 minutes, right?
I think it's 4 to 7 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like, that's a short time, guys. Like, and we tend to like overwrite, right? We're like, yeah, a page is a minute. It happened with There's Something in the Water. I was like, okay, this is dialogue heavy. It's 7 pages, but a page a minute, right? And then our original cut was like 9 minutes, so we were like, okay, now we got to cut down. So by having that assembly cut ready by like 9 a.m. Sunday, we can like cut everything down, get to a place that we like, and then we can do our sound design, we can do our color grade and all the nice post things that we like to do. Compared to like starting your edit 8 in the morning Sunday, now it's like afternoon and you're still trying to cut your film.
Yeah.
And then like, okay, your sound design isn't great. Now it sounds like trash, or your color grade isn't what you want it to be. So yeah, definitely.
And then you're out of
highly
time
recommend.
and you got to submit something.
Exactly, yeah. So definitely recommend having some sort of assembly cut like ready in the morning, Sunday morning, so that you can spend all Sunday like perfecting the film as much as you can.
I just this weekend participated in a 24-hour playwright festival.
Oh my
And
God.
so I had to come up with a
Amazing.
10 to 15-minute script for that. And of
Mhm.
course, it's being performed live in front of an audience and everything. And just hearing your process about staying up as late as possible the night before actually shooting. I'm like, yep, that's what I've been doing this entire
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, I mean, at
So,
the end of the day, like, I told my actors when I met up with them. So I met up with every actor and I got coffee with them and I just kind of talked and I explained what the 48 hour was. And I kind of told them, like, if you're like a main character, like, be prepared for a long day. And like, my crew
mhm.
already knew that, right? But that's like the bit, you know, of a 48
Oh
hour.
yeah.
Like, that's what we're signing up for. That's kind of what we're all like committed to. And the cool thing was, like, I told my cast and crew, like, you know, we're gonna try and we're gonna compete. We're gonna try and like do well. So I think in order to do that, like, everyone's got to be on the same page. We all got to be committed and knowing that's gonna be a long day. It was a long
Mhm.
filming day. I think it might have been like 18 hours. Um, but you know, it's just 2 days, right? It's just 48 hours. We get
Oh
through
yeah.
it. We know what we signed up for. So, you know, when you're doing 48, just know that it's gonna be long.
Oh yeah.
But you know, it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be cool.
I mean, we know you
Definitely.
said you barely slept, but how is like your food intake and stuff? Like, were you guys able to take care of yourselves pretty well?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I think in every short film that I've ever done, my parents have always contributed by doing our catering. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
amazing.
we definitely got, or my breakfast might have been iced coffee, but we definitely got really good
That's
lunch that
fair.
my parents provided. So yeah, that's another important thing. Like, feed your crew.
Mm.
Take the time to eat, right? Like,
Right.
don't not eat. That's very
Right.
important. At the end of the day, like, none of us are getting paid to do this. So that's always like our form of payment, right? It's like feeding your crew well. It's the least that you can do.
Mhm.
So yeah, we had like chicken enchiladas and stuff like that.
That sounds so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, no,
Man, it's
I
only
think
9 in the morning and I want chicken enchiladas now.
I know,
Hmm.
yeah, I know. I think my casting crew, they can't complain in that aspect. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, feed your crew.
Is there anything like on a technical level you would do differently? I know everything went perfect for you guys, but like, what would you do differently, do you think?
Oh God, I don't know. I mean, I wish I wish we would have gotten a draft quicker on Friday,
Hmm.
just because, you know, sleep is important. I'm the type of person that like has to sleep to, like, you know,
Same.
operate. So that was the challenge in 48, was trying to direct 18 hours straight after no sleep.
Hmm.
But gee, on a technical level, I mean, like, I don't know. The crew that I had, we've kind of worked together for a while now. Like, we've kind of been making movies for years since film school,
Hmm.
so I feel like we're kind of on the same wavelength when it comes to like our
Yeah.
process and working together. But on a technical level, gee, I mean, I'm trying to think. Like,
Just a well-oiled machine at this point with
Yeah.
your crew.
That's what
I
it
like to
sounds like.
I like to think that we are. I take a
Yeah.
lot of pride in my crew because they're really great people, which is the most
Hmm.
important thing. Like, it's always fun to
Mhm.
work with people who are just nice and come in with a positive attitude.
Yeah. And I
Um,
absolutely saw that in the production of your film. The overall quality is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, God, like, when you have such a great crew and you have people who are collaborative and kind of bring their own A game, I feel like directing is like really easy, you know? When your cinematographer is on point, when your costume designer is on point, your production designer. God, my production designer, shout out, her name was Ashley Phoenix Tyson. She was also a UNLV Film alum. I just want to shout her out because she was just doing things that I wasn't even thinking about, and it would just kind of be there. I was like, oh my God. In our film, we have a little nameplate of our like villain. She
Hmm.
just did that.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't even think about it. She just put it there, and I was like, "How did we get that so quickly in 48 hours?" She was making like logos for the company that you kind of
Wow.
barely see like on the TV during the interview and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
when everyone's kind of, you know, putting in their A game, like directing, it becomes easier for sure.
And it's those little things that make it the whole project just feels so three-dimensional because of
Mhm.
all
Oh,
of
thank
those
you.
things. So yeah, props to your
Yeah.
designer, your entire
It's like we're
crew.
on a full on
Props to them.
set. Like everything is so seamless.
Yeah,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
kind of how we treat it. I feel like ever since I did my first 48 hour with UNLV, which was like a little telenovela thing, like, the goal was kind of always to make a 48 hour seem like it wasn't made in 48 hours, right? Like,
Mhm.
we always want to, with any short film that we do, we always want to up the production value and make it seem like it was made with like tens of thousands of dollars, even though our budget is like, you know, a bag of Cheetos, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's so I appreciate you guys saying that, and that was the goal. You know, we wanted to make something that everyone was proud of and had a high production value, and you know that people audiences would enjoy.
I'm really glad that we're talking about kind of the visuals and everything because there was one particular shot that I just rewatched it this morning to refamiliarize myself because once again it's 9 a.m. The shot with the glass of water I think is probably my favorite shot in the whole film because of the fact that you get such a clean, crisp image of. I'm assuming that it was a droplet of blood going through the water, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah,
I got that.
yeah.
And then you get a little bit in the background kind of faded out, and I just thought that that was such a really cool shot. And I'm like, how did you do that with 48 hours?
Hmm.
So definitely very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, that shot was one of the last things that we filmed. So everything that happened in the house, that's where we
Hmm.
wrapped like at 1 a.m. ish. And I
Hmm.
remember, yeah, it was one of those shots where we were like, does this work? Like, does this make sense? Because she's drinking the water, and then we like put the drops in, and then roll, put the water down, and we were like, is that too much blood? Is that not enough blood? Like, and I think directing is tough when it's when you're 12, 13 hours in. I think at that
Hmm.
point we're like 15, 16 hours in and you still have to like answer like small questions like that. Like they seem silly at the time, like is it enough blood? Is it not enough blood? But it's
Right.
important, right?
Yeah.
So I appreciate that you like that shot because that was one of those where we were like, does this make sense? Does this adding up? Does the movement make
Coming
sense? The
from
blood like
another very visual person when it comes to the scripts that I write, absolutely. I think that a little was enough for that shot, and it it definitely it sold the whole thing.
mhm,
You're talking about the pollution, and that's another thing about this project of yours is talking about the environment, talking about pollution and everything. You got a little bit of something about big business in there. I think
mhm.
that whether or not you meant for it to be a little bit more of a political stance, that whatever message that you were trying to get home with all of these different mini themes, uh, from where I watched it, I thought you did really well on.
Thank you. Yeah, that really means a lot. Yeah, I want to talk about just like the climate aspect of it because every
Hmm.
film is assigned a genre. In our case, for the
Hmm.
Las Vegas 48, we were assigned two,
Hmm.
and that was interesting to say the least. Just because I remember going up to the drawing and we ended up getting climate film or fantasy.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
I think those might have been two genres that I definitely did not want. um, Fantasy because there's a lot that goes behind, like the production design and the
Hmm.
costuming, the
Yeah.
art, and I'm very much the type that believes like if you get a genre, like whatever genre you get, like fully commit to it. You know what I mean?
Oh
Don't
yeah,
do like hints of it, right? Like people want to see you go all out with that genre because that's like kind of the fun of the 48, right? I think
definitely.
a lot of people, which I don't blame them because like I did this too, will fall for under like the comedy route, because you want to make
Hmm.
audiences laugh, which is totally okay. But then what ends up happening is your film is more comedy and less whatever genre it is that you got, right?
Hmm.
So when we got fantasy, people were kind of pitching the idea of like having a fantastical element in an ordinary world, which is
Hmm.
cool and it's a fun idea, but it's just something that I couldn't ever do. Like if we were gonna do
Hmm.
fantasy, we're gonna like Lord of the Rings that,
Oh yeah.
like full costumes for everyone, full character designs for everyone. And that would have driven my costume designer and my production designer and my makeup artist absolutely insane. So we were like, okay, maybe not fantasy. So then we
Hmm.
were like, well, what's a climate film, right? Because like all these other genres have like such like easy conventions that you know and are aware of, and we're like, well, what's climate
Hmm.
film? At first, I thought it was like a natural disaster movie, kind of like
Hmm.
2012 or like Geostorm or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you
Yeah.
go on the 48 website, it's like films about climate change, environmental degradation, and how humans are impacting the earth. So I was like, okay, that isn't really necessary. Like that doesn't have genre conventions in the way that like horror does, where you have like jump scares and like frights
Hmm.
or like comedy, right?
Right.
So I was really nervous when we went like the drama mystery route because I
Hmm.
didn't know if it was climate filmy enough. But at the same time, it's like again, what is a climate film, right? Like I guess it can be, as long as we hit the topic, which I feel like we did, then, we
Oh
just
yeah.
kind of went with it. And we were scared at first, but then when we got nominated for best writing, we were like, okay, sigh of relief, because I think the judges also think it's climate film enough. So
Clearly, you did something right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were all freaking out, but it was a tough challenge, and coming up with the story was difficult because I don't think anyone thought we were gonna get climate film. But I luckily my team, which was my DP, my costume designer, and my producers, we went over to my house and we were discussing how we can make it work. And then I had the idea of it being like a conspiracy of this company who was like destroying the planet. And then from there, we broke it down to something that just made sense here in Vegas. So we're like, okay, water pollution. And then we just kind of went from there. The prompts that were given to us was the character was an interior designer, Justin or Justine Snow, which was our main protagonist in the film. Our prop was a USB. And then the line of dialogue was, I just got to do it, which is what our protagonist says, like, at the very end. So yeah, another piece of advice I'd like to give is like really like go heavy with the prompts, Don't like throw away the characters super quickly. Don't use the line in like a way that isn't significant. Like really try and find a way to make those prompts like significant parts of your story. I think the judges will like they'll like the way that you creatively use those prompts, and I think it's better if you just kind of go all in.
Once again, coming from experience from the 24 I just got off of and everything, they assigned me drama and they assigned me a prop of toilet paper. And
Oh my
so,
god.
oh yeah,
That's
figuring out
awesome.
how do I use drama
Yeah.
and toilet paper in the same light and everything. I
But that's the
100% get
fun, right? Because like
But Robby, yeah.
totally.
you're being forced to like be creative in ways that you didn't think you could. So that's the fun of it.
Can you give us a little synopsis, Robby, of what your play was about? Because I
Yeah,
thought it was
please.
perfect.
Yeah, yeah. So I once again I was given the option to just randomly select what it was that I got, and I had four options in genre, and I had four options in props, and I just randomly rolled, and I got two both times. And they're like, okay, you're going to be doing a drama, and you're going to be having the prop of toilet paper. And so I sat there for a good couple hours just going, how in the heck do I make those two things come together? And I decided to say that it was at a funeral of all things. And I had the toilet paper prop be something that, according to the story, one was placed on every single table. And it's so that way, and you come to find out from the main character later on, that they wanted to be there for everyone one last time. And so at a funeral, and I've been to a handful of them, I'm like, everyone is crying, not everyone has tissues. So how do we solve that problem? Toilet paper on every
Nice.
table.
Nice.
It was beautiful. I read the script and I cried.
That's so cool. How did it go? Was it like a competition or was it just kind of like how'd it go?
It went really well. So yesterday morning we all got there around 8 a.m. and they would practice for the next 12 hours before putting on the show. I had no idea who the cast was. I hadn't met the director in person yet, and so everyone was meeting essentially for the first time. And I even had to go and work for a couple hours yesterday.
Wow.
So I was there for the morning where we just kind of talked about the script, talked about characters, building off of everything, and getting to really know each other.
Hmm.
And then I turned them loose with the director and came back 5 hours later to see what the finished product was going to look like. And just like Lex, I cried at my own work. I thought it was a very
Nice.
amazing experience.
That's awesome. I'm glad it went well.
So I know we've only got a few minutes left, so I have been dying to ask you about one part of your film.
Hmm.
So sorry, I want to go back a little bit. We were talking about like favorite shots for a second there, and I wanted to squeeze this in. The last shot with that
Mm.
twist, where the music is building, and the CEO had just sat down, and it all just kind of flips back on your protagonist. I wanted to ask, like, what was the inspiration for that? Um, who had that idea for that shot? Because I thought that was great. That twist working into the story with the cinematography and the sound, it all worked so well together. And I'm nerding
Thank
out
you.
about it again.
Thank you very much. I think we went back and forth with what kind of ending we wanted. We were like, okay, we're gonna have a happy ending, or we're gonna have like a sad ending, right? And we kind of thought about the idea of climate change, and we thought about how, at the end of the day, regardless of your political, where you sit in the political spectrum, whatever class you are, like, there are no winners in climate change, right? Like, we're all losers. Um, we kind of went into the idea of, like, the media shifting away from climate change, and, like, you know, we have climate change deniers and stuff like that in mainstream media. So we were like, okay, we're gonna go with the sad ending. And her looking into the camera wasn't a decision that was made until we were there on set. Originally in the script, it didn't really have that. She was just gonna kind of like stay looking straight. And it was my producer and longtime collaborator and amazing friend, Kiara McKinsey, who is also a UNLV alum. I love her to death. She, as we were watching the monitor, she was like, I think it'd be a great idea if she possibly stared into the camera and broke the fourth wall. Because, I mean, that's the only time that happens in the film, right? So it kind of like, it shocks the audience a little bit. And you can kind of feel that when we were in the theater. And our protagonist, Jackie Lakutis, who was so amazing in the movie and such a talented actress, and I love her to death, she just did it and pulled it off in a way that I didn't think was way too over the top or too cheesy, and it felt very natural to her. It felt natural to me. And when we saw it, we were like, yeah, that's what we got to do. Like, she has to look right into the camera.
Oh,
So,
yeah, she nailed it. She nailed it.
She did.
I think it's, you know, it's really fun because, like, I mentioned preparing as much as you can beforehand, but it's always like those happy, like, on the go things when you're on set where you're just like, you know what, just look right into the camera, you know? And that's what kind of, it's a mix of both, right? It's a mix of the preparation and also just like, as Adam Paul would like to say, you know, effing around and finding out, you know? At the end of the day, like, the 48s, the most important thing about a 48 is that everyone's just supposed to be having fun, you know? Like, the 48-hour film festival, whether it's the UNLV or the Las Vegas 48, is this perfect opportunity that forces you to make something. And as we all probably have, we all procrastinate, right? Like, we're all like, we're going to write that script and never do it. We're going to shoot that short film and then never do it. And the 48 forces you to write something, shoot it, and get it out there. And I think that's such a wonderful thing. So, like, have fun with it, play around, you know, and just enjoy being on set, because it's just a great thing to be on set, and it's, you know, it's a blessing to be with your friends and make cool things.
Yeah. Well, so I know we're just about out of time. I figured one last question, quick, easy out. Do you have any last pieces of advice for anyone that's going to be participating in the UNLV 48 coming up
Like
next week?
something they can do or something they shouldn't do, maybe?
Sure.
Or someone they shouldn't cast.
Oh, no, yeah. Cast, you know, hey, cast who you want, man, and go from there. Director, casting's everything, right? But yeah, it's just, you know, again, prep as much as you can, find cool locations, find your crew, find your cast early, don't wait last minute. Get an edit in, so whoever your editor is, either sleep all day and edit all night, or be there on set and, like, edit while you guys are filming. It's going to help you guys so much, seriously. And yeah, you just have fun, you know. The moment that you'll be stressed a little bit, obviously, and there'll be a little bit of anxiety, but the moment that you start not having fun, that's where you're losing the plot. So, you know, get with your friends and just have a good time and enjoy yourselves, and you'll make something cool.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
We really appreciate your time and super enjoyed this conversation. But I think that is all the time that we have for today, right, guys?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
But yes, thank you again so much, and congratulations on the film winning. It really was amazing.
Thank you guys. Yeah, are you guys all going to be participating at UNLV's 48 this year?
I will not. I will be out of town, unfortunately.
Oh God.
I'm double booked that weekend.
Yeah,
oh no.
same,
Okay, well,
I know.
that's all right. Next time then, for sure. I can't wait to see the 48s that everyone makes this year, though. I'm looking.
I want to do it again so bad, though. You're tempting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a great time.
Cool. All right. Thank
All right.
you.
All
Thank
right,
you so much.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it so much. I enjoyed talking with all of you, and yeah, until next time.
Yeah, until next time.
Thank you guys.
And that's it for this week's episode of the Film Department Podcast. I've been Matthew Trudeau with Lex DeAssis and Robby Baker. Special thank you to the Beverly Theater. Be sure to check out their program at thebeverly.com. And thank you to our guest, Edwin Ramirez. We'll see you next class.
Imagined by the Rogers Foundation, the Beverly Theater brings cinematic connectivity, novel collaborations, live happenings, cultural portals, and a zest for independent spirits to downtown Las Vegas. With a mission to stage uncommon cinematic, literary, and live experiences, the Beverly Theater is Las Vegas's first and only independent film house, storytelling arena, and live music venue. Check out our event calendar at thebeverlytheater.com.